As we continue in the book of Joshua, I just want to acknowledge that as several people who are reading through the Bible with me or listening to these devotions have commented to me about just the brutality and the violence that we see in many of these early books of the Bible, where the Israelites attack people and no one is spared, men and women, and there's just utter destruction. And it's very difficult, frankly, to read and to accept. But in Joshua chapter 9, there's a story that it actually kind of brings a smile to my face, because I think we all appreciate cleverness, ingenuity, and people showing wisdom. And as the Israelites are coming in and they're defeating different tribes, different groups, there's a group called the Gibeonites. And the Gibeonites recognize what's going on, and they say, you know what? We're gonna try a different approach. And so they dress up in really old clothes, and they put their provisions in worn out sacks, and they come to the Israelites and they say, hey, we come from a far country. Hey, we've heard about what God is doing with you. Make a treaty with us. And the Israelites, thinking, hey, what harm can there be? They make a treaty with them. And in Joshua 9, verse 14, there's a key verse. It says, so the leaders partook of their provisions, which the Gibeonites offered to them, and did not ask direction from the Lord. And that's the key. They made a decision without consulting God. And after a few days had passed, they basically realized, oh no, they weren't from a far country. These were our neighbors. These were people we were going to be fighting. And now we can't fight them because we made a treaty with them and we need to honor it. And the Gibeonites knew it. So they had to learn how to live together going forward. I give points to the Gibeonites for their cleverness in duping the Israelites. But the larger, more important spiritual point is the Israelites made a very quick, spur-of-the-moment decision without taking the time to ask the Lord's direction. And I think of two things from that. One, rash, hurried, rushed decisions most of the time don't tend to be the best decisions. Hurry is not a good thing spiritually and in life. If you have a significant decision to make, sleep on it, pray on it. By all means, don't rush the decision. Ask the Lord's direction. And that's another thing with, driving apps like Google Maps and Waze. Most people don't need to ask directions anymore. But some of us are old enough to remember what it's like to drive around and not know where we're going. And there's always someone who's a little stubborn about admitting they're lost and stopping to ask for direction. There's far more wisdom in admitting we need to ask for direction than there is in just pursuing a path when we don't know where we're going. If you're facing a decision today, take some time to ask the Lord's direction.